Trading futures and options on futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all traders and investors. Oftentimes in futures trading, you have a high combination of leverage and volatility. And although this could be an equation for opportunity, it's also an equation for risk. So be careful. Only fund your futures trading account with risk capital. My personal definition of risk capital is money I could afford to lose, doesn't change my lifestyle, or overly stress me out. As human beings, we make bad decisions when we're under stress, so be in a good spot. Remember, micro contracts could be friends. Take it easy on the day trade margins. You get plenty of leverage without maxing out on those day trade margins on a regular basis. We'll be taking a look at a real-time simulated live NinjaTrader trading platform today, and none of this should be construed as trade or investment advice. Past performance not indicative of future results. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NinjaTrader Platform Unleashed. My name is Jim Cagnina with NinjaTrader. It is Monday, January 29th, 2024. I'd like to welcome everybody today to this stream. We are going to talk about automated trade management over the next few weeks. And we're going to start out, we're going to keep it simple to start out. We're going to showcase the functionality and really what a powerful tool it is on the NinjaTrader Desktop platform. So again, appreciate everybody coming. Let's go ahead and take a peek. So I have a control panel on the upper left. I have my market analyzer is on the right. I have my charts here in the lower left. I'm taking up most of my screen. So what I want to do is I want to set up a real simple trade strategy. And I'm gonna set up that trade strategy and launch that trade strategy from the NinjaTrader SuperDOM. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go to New on the upper left-hand corner, and I'm gonna pick SuperDOM. There's two versions of it. There's the dynamic and the static. I'm gonna pick static. Now click on that. It's gonna launch a new NinjaTrader SuperDOM. And this is the trading ladder, right? Prices are in the middle. They go up and down by the smallest increment possible. In this case, the E-mini S&P stock index future is a quarter point is each tick. A tick is the smallest price increment that you could go. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a column that says buy. This is where you'd buy a contract in this marketplace. And on the right-hand side is a sell. This is where you'd sell a contract, right? Remember, in futures trading, you can sell first before you buy, or if you think the market's going to go down, or vice versa. So these columns are commonly referred to as the bid-ask, right? The bid-ask. And the difference between the bid-ask, right? The highest bid is one tick below the lowest ask or the lowest offer. That's the bid-ask spread. Now, as the market moves around, it bounces around as new prices are traded. You'll see that the yellow flag in the middle moves around, right? That's really the last traded prices, that orange highlighted cell in the middle of the ladder, or in other words, mark to market. That's what the price is at any given time. So what we want to do, though, I want to set up a real simple strategy. And the way to do it on the trading ladder is just to go down to the bottom of the trading ladder. You'll see it doesn't look like much. It doesn't, but it's pretty powerful. If you go down to the bottom here, you'll see E-mini S&P is the market I'm interested in. I could change it if I want. And the quantity I've selected is 1. We're going to keep it as a 1, right? Quantity 1 contract, or 1 lot, 1 contract at a time. Now, at the bottom here, you'll see ATM strategy. And let me kind of focus this a little bit better here so we can see it a little bit better, because it's way at the bottom, right? It says ATM strategy. And it's like, well, what is this? This doesn't sound like much, right? This doesn't sound like a lot of stuff. So we have account. It's blank. I'm going to add an account here. We'll just add sim account 1. And then strategy here says none. In other words, if I just place a trade from this trading ladder, right? Let's just say I click and I want to buy a contract at 49.20. It just goes in as a regular limit order, right? And the definition of limit order, remember, is at my price or better. So what I'm telling the market is, what I'm telling the CME group right now is, hey, I want to buy. Now I'm in a real-time sim account, obviously, but if I want to buy, an E-mini S&P at a price of 49.20. And so I'm going to send a limit order in. If the market comes down to me, I have a chance of getting filled. And if the market comes down there. So it's called a limit order, right? And the definition of limit order is at my price or better. Alternatively, I might want to say, well, I want to sell a contract, right? I want to sell a contract at a higher price, and I think the market's going to come down. So if the market gets up to 49.23, I'll put a limit order to sell a contract at 49.23. So here's an example of a sell order, and here's an example of a buy order. Now, I could change my mind and say, well, I want I want to wait a little bit longer. I want to move my order down to 1950. I can click and just simply cancel and replace that order that quickly. That's really how this is really where the rubber meets the road here for futures trading versus other types of market. It's really easy to manually manage orders. Now, you might not want to manually manage orders. You might want to say, well, I want to automate some of this stuff. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So in a regular market, in a regular trade, right? I'm just going to buy a contract at the market, right? And I'll just hit this. I'll do it on the sell side. So I'm going to get short. So I'm going to click the market order button. And now you can see color coded. I got one contract. Red means I'm short, right? I sold a contract and I sold it at 49.21. And as the market bounces around, you'll see this gray color coded cell that says, hey, Jim, this is where your average position is. And you're short at 49.21. And as the market moves around, then my realized P&L here in the middle, and I could display it a bunch of different ways, moves around in real time as the market moves around, right? So this is mark to market, right? It says, hey, Jim, if you get out at this price right here, here's your gross P&L. So that's kind of number one. Number two is once we have a position, well, we think the market's going to go down, and I'd like to buy it back at a lower price and try to make profit. So then again, I'm just randomly picking numbers here. Let's pick 49.19, and I'll send a limit order in to the exchange. And this is saying, hey, if this market comes down here, buy one back, right? I'm short here, buy one back. I'll be flat. That's all good. Now, the last component of a trade is a stop loss, right? And we want to say, well, I could be wrong. Maybe the market won't go down. Maybe it'll go up. And I want to limit my losses if I'm wrong. So I'm going to put a buy stop, right? It'll be a buy stop above the market. And I'm going to use the middle mouse button of my mouse, the middle roller. Click. I'll select my contract size and I'll hit the check button. And now I have a stop. So this is the anatomy of pretty much every trade in the world, right? You have a position, you have a profit target, and you have a stop loss. And this is a very simple application. And right now I have a simple bracket around, it's manual, but a simple bracket around my entry. Now, and again, you could adjust these things. You can click and click to move them to different prices. That's okay. Or you could cancel them all, right? You could manually change your mind, which is good. So, but now here's where the ATM really is really good, right? The automated trade management on a simple bracket OCO, which I'm going to show you in a second. Now, if this market, let's say this market goes against me and I get stopped out, right? In other words, I'd be flat, right? Because I'm short one and my stop loss is on the buy side. So my position would be zero, it would be flat, right? Now, if I don't cancel this limit order, it's still going to be there. It's going to be working in the book, right? So I have the possibility of getting an extra fill that I don't want. I don't know if I want to get long down here if I get stopped up out here. And sometimes these markets are kind of volatile. So you want to have that kind of automated protection because it happens a lot quicker than you can do it manually. So I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and just close this out, right? By hitting that close button, I'm going to buy a contract back at the market, and it's going to go ahead and cancel my limit order and my stop. Okay, so that's just kind of basic 101 order entry, really simple. So let's go ahead and now let's do a little bit of automation here. So I'm going to go down to where it says ATM strategy none. And I'm going to hit my drop down menu and I'm going to hit the word, you see the word custom that pops up, right? I'll hit the word custom and this dialog box appears. And I don't know if I should move it to the left or right or keep it in the center. I'll move it to the right. It says custom strategies parameters. Order quantity 1. Okay, that's what it matches with my trading ladder. Now I could change it if I'd like. If I wanted to do a bigger trade, a bigger contracts, I could change it. Time and force is good to cancel. We'll leave that there. And then parameter type is in ticks, right? Remember, each one of these increments is a tick, right? And you could change it if you want, but I'm just so used to ticks, and I think it's kind of normal convention. I'm going to keep it there. You could change it to price or trading Forex pips or percents. Now, you can get fancy with it, but we're going to keep it at ticks. Now, you have another line down here, right? This next line says target 1. All right, this is what we want to focus on. Target 1. Quantity is 1, stop loss. Now, how far away do I want to put my stop loss from whatever my entry price is? Now, so this is half of the trade, right? Because we're going to have a profit target and a stop loss as well. Now, this is this is unique to the market you're trading, right? Because some markets have really volatile ranges, and some have relatively tight ranges. So we're gonna go ahead and just apply a trade strategy right now to the E-mini S&P. And I'm looking at the chart right now, and I've been looking at them all day, and I know that there's kind of a cyclical phenomenon going on right now in this particular market, and it's before a Fed meeting, and we don't have a big range today. It's kind of range bound. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stop loss in, and I'm going to set my initial stop loss to, we'll go ahead and set it to, we'll keep it tight. We'll settle it. We'll set it to 8 ticks, right? Or that's 2 points. 8 ticks is 2 points. And my profit target, I'll put it 10 points, okay? Or 10 ticks rather. 8 ticks, 10 ticks for my profit. Now, my stop strategy, I'm going to leave it at none for now. We'll cover how to automate stops and trailing stops and break-even stops next Monday. But right now, I just want to demonstrate this, what's called a simple bracket order cancels other. Simple bracket other order cancels other. So now I'm just going to hit OK right now, and I'll show you how to save templates in a minute, but I'll hit OK. And you'll see at the bottom of the trading ladder here, it says, custom, right? There's a little I there, custom. I just set it up. It's memorized here. It's not saved for later, but it's activated on my trading ladder as we speak. So what I'm going to do is I could enter a market order. I could, to get in a position, I could enter a limit order, which I'm going to do. I'm going to click once on the sell side. I would like to try to sell a contract at 49.23. And, or I could even enter on a stop. Whatever method you use to actually establish a position, you could do it. And this custom, see custom one at the bottom here, it's got the lightning bolt now, right? It's active. It's the live wire. That thing is ready to go. So if I get my fill at 1923, then the bracket will automatically be placed not only on the trading ladder, it'll automatically be placed on the trading ladder, and you'll see it go with the confirmation and all that stuff. So let's hang tight here. Let's see if we can get one more tick. If not, I'll chase it a little bit because really we're just doing this for presentation purposes. You should not be following me, doing this trade in your real account. I'm just making this up as I go. I'm going to chase this now. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this and bring it down a little tighter and get filled. So I got filled at 49.22 half. You can see the gray box. You can see the market's trading right there. And then you can see my stop loss is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ticks up. And it's color coded. It's red, right? I'm short. So my stop is above the market, right? Because it's gonna buy one up here if I get up here before I get to the bottom. At the bottom, my profit target is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks down. That's exactly how we programmed it. So the idea here, it's a simple bracket. The idea here is whichever one of these orders gets filled first, the other order will automatically cancel. So there's a couple of things going on automatically, right? Once you get filled, the bracket is sent, right? The bracket's in place. And then once one of the legs of the bracket gets filled, the other one automatically cancels. And that will result in a flat position. And that's the goal, right? That's the ultimate goal, obviously, is to have a profitable trade. But with this type of bracket, at the end of the day, we want to be flat. We don't want to have anything working, right? If you have an order in the order book that's not filled, it's a working order, right? And so you always want to see, hey, what orders are working here in the ladder. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And sometimes it's hard to demonstrate some of these because literally we're waiting for the market to cooperate. But we're good. We're good. So one of the things I want to point out too, I can decide to manually intervene. Let's say I would like to move my stop down to 49.24 even. I'm just going to click on that red bar. I'm going to bring my mouse down, click again, and I just move that stop. I just cancel and replace that stop to this level. Now, notice we have the red line going all the way across. We have the green line going all the way across. The OCO, the actual instructions are still valid, even though I changed even though I changed my stop loss by 2 ticks to get closer to break even. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, a lot of folks will just put in an OCO and let it go. They won't, change it at all. But I just wanted to make it clear that you can, and the instructions will still be good. I'm going to tighten up the profit target because I want to see if we can get this. I would like to demonstrate this OCO and the fact that one of them will be canceled right away, and then we'll go on to try again, and I'll show you how to save one of these custom strategies. Then maybe we'll look at a micro NASDAQ market also and consider the differences of that market and versus the differences of the E-mini S&P. And, all the great CME group asset classes are here in play, right? And they all have a little bit of a different nuance, different volume, different times they move. And so once you get familiar with that, once you get muscle memory for that, you'll kind of know how to set your settings better for where your profit target should be and where your stop should be. Does that make sense? If you're in the chat, if you're not in the chat, get in the chat if you want. It's easy to find the chat. The chat is at ninjatrader.com/events, EVENTS. If you are in the chat and you have a question, feel free to type it in and it'll be passed over to me through the miracle of modern technology, and I'll be able to answer it. So I'm going to tighten this up here just so we can demonstrate what happens. I'm going to bring my stop down to 2 ticks below my entry. I'll bring my profit target to two ticks below. And so let's see which gets filled first. Now remember, a stop, if it just trades there once, it triggers it. So you saw the stop filled, my profit target was automatically canceled. And look at the bottom here. It says flat, right? That red indication wasn't there anymore. -1 isn't there anymore. Flat means I don't have a position. And then there's no orders. You can scroll up, scroll down. There's no orders. So I'm flat. I don't have to worry about a dangling order right now. Does that make sense? So it could be pretty handy, actually. It could be pretty handy, actually. Now let's do the same thing in the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and I could edit this if I want, right? I could click on the ATM strategy at the bottom under custom. I could hit edit. I could edit it. I could change my parameters if I want. I could add a stop strategy if I want. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that this particular software does. So I could do that stuff, but I'm going to keep it the same for now. The one thing I do want to show you how to do is save as a template. See, there's save as a template. And so I'm going to click on that, and we'll call this, let's call this SB for simple bracket, and 10 space 8. Those are the parameters, I believe. And I'll hit save, right? So now now it's there. Now it's saved as a template, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, when I go down here to the bottom where it says ATM strategy and I hit the drop-down menu, you'll see it's always going to be there. Simple bracket 10-8 will always be there. I could always go back to none, or I can go to custom. Now, let's go ahead and place a trade on the other direction, right? We're gonna go long this time. We're gonna buy a contract. Again, I'm gonna go right to as close as I can to the market. I'm gonna hit the bid and see if we can get filled. The strategy's still going. It has a lightning bolt next to it at the bottom here, so it's active. And the simulator just boom, we just got filled. Now I'm long one contract, right? This is a green down here. At the bottom of the trading ladder, there's a green rectangle, and there's a 1 there. I'm long one contract, right? I want the market to go up. I want to sell it higher at a higher price, right? And you could see it put my limit order 10 ticks above the entry, and it put my stop 8 ticks below, right? Stop's always 8, 10's always the profit target. And so it's smart enough to know which direction you're going and to apply the stop in the target appropriately. So again, this is kind of a slow sideways choppy market. I'm just going to move the stop up a little bit closer here, bring it up to 49.20 even. We'd call it 49.20 even. And we're going to let it go for a second and see how the price action cooperates. It doesn't cooperate. Of course, it's difficult in these kind of presentations, but we'll let it go. We'll see how it goes. Now, this is in sim mode, and the NinjaTrader software is really excellent in sim mode. You get real-time streaming data, and on limit orders, it really tries to estimate a realistic limit order fill. Remember, limit order is first in, first out at your given price. So I'm theoretically behind 140 so contracts at that were there before me that are being bid at 41.21. So let's keep that in mind too. But in any event, and it's the middle of the day, things are moving. It's lunchtime, so it's a little bit slower. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Go buy. Let me straighten this out. Everything is good. We'll hit the buy button. Whoa. I hit the close. Let's try to get long again. See if we can get the fill. Chase it up a little bit. Again, this is not best practices, but there. So now it's in again. I'm going to tighten up my stop. 2 ticks below. And I'm moving my stop just to make a point, just to show that this OSHIL will actually cancel, and I'll end up with a flat position at the end of the day. And there are some folks that will manually trail if the market goes their way. And again, next Monday I'm going to show you how to automatically trail, right? Set up an automatic trail. But right now we'll just kind of keep it like this and see how it goes. See if we can. I'm trying to get stopped out, everybody. Trying to get stopped out here in the E-mini S&P market. It's a very low volume day today. You can see over on my market analyzer, we only have 516,000 contracts traded so far in the E-mini S&P market. And we're halfway through with the day. That's a low volume day. So let's just tighten it a little bit more. There we go. We're 1 tick below break even right now. And remember, if the market hits the red line, the stop, it's going to behave like a market order. In other words, it's going to give you the best fill price that you can get. Typically, you can get the actual price that you there we go. We just got stopped at 49.20, and the profit target was automatically canceled. So that's an example of how to do that. Now, let's say some time goes by and I'm like, yeah, I want to put some trades in right now. Always look down to the bottom of your ATM. If you've been using ATM strategies, if you want to just place regular trades and you don't want an ATM strategy applied after you've already applied one, make sure you change this back to none. Just go there and just hit none, right? Now that we've done none, now we could just place trades and there'll be there's no lightning bolt or anything like that. We could, you could click around and place trades, and you're not going to get that. You won't get that automation. Make sense? And that's important, because a lot, I forget a lot of times, like, oh my goodness, I forgot I had my ATM strategy turned on. I'm going to go ahead and just hit close. Okay. So let's take it up a notch. Let's take it up one notch. Do we have time? We have plenty of time. So I'm going to create a new strategy. I'm going to go to custom again, right? I'm going to go to custom again, and I'm going to create a new one, right? Now, in this, I'm going to do a 2. I'm going to change my quantity order to 2 ticks the same. And then I'm going to add, I have target 1. I'm going to add a second target. I'm going to hit that add button. And now I have a second target I could apply. So as an example, for a stop loss, we'll make them both units are going to be same stop loss. We'll make it at 8. And then the profit target for the first unit, well, let's make that at 10. And then the second target for the second unit, second contract, would be 12. It's going to bifurcate the 2. Now, target 1 here, I just got to put a 1. Sorry, 1, right? Because the total is 2. Target 1, target 2, quantity 1 and 1. Stop loss are both 8, but the profit targets are different, right? Now I'm going to hit OK. Now, notice on my trading ladder, quantity changed to 2, which is super cool. Quantity changed to 2. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get long right now. And what happened? I have a 2-lot stop, 8 down, and then I have a 1 unit target up here, which is 10. And then my 12 ticks away, I have my second unit. So, and I'm going to separate this a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. I shouldn't have made them so close, really. Because the idea is, if we get one of the units here, let's say that this rallies up to 49.27.5, and we get our fill, but we're long 2. We only sold 1, so we'll be still long 1, right? So this will go away, This limit, I'm going to move this up a couple real quick. This target will stay the same, right? But my stop will change. So if this is filled, I'm only long one. The stop will change to a 1, right? It's smart, right? It knows, okay, he's only got 1 left. So we got to change that stop loss to a 1 from a 2, right? So it keeps it even, even Steven, as we call it. And it's automated. I don't have to do anything. My hands are off the steering wheel right now. It's on autopilot and everything is, it's all good. So that's how you would set that up, right? And again, I'm long at 25 even. I 2 contracts. My first target up here is at 2750. Once we get filled at 2750, then the stop will change from 2 contracts to 1 contract. You could do this on the long side. You could do it on the short side. Now, at any given time, if this stop loss gets filled before anything is hit up here, then everything gets canceled, right? Let's say, though, we got 1 unit, stop changes to 1, and then the market goes the wrong way, and then we get stopped out. Then that remaining target up here will be canceled also. So again, the idea is we're going to end up with no position, no dangling orders, my hands off the mouse, right? And anytime your hands off the mouse, there's a little bit of discipline involved, right? There's a little bit of discipline involved. We've come up with the trade idea. We've come up with a strategy, and we're going to stick to that trade idea, right? We're not going to chase because of FOMO. We're not going to, make some, deviate from our trade plan just because, right? Willy-nilly. We're going to stick to the plan. So that's where we're at. Let's let this percolate a little bit more. Again, any questions, type them into the chat. Be happy to talk to you about it. And we'll go from there. Now, with this custom strategy down here at the bottom, we could save that also, right? You could save that also once the trade is completed. So, or you could have saved it when you developed it in the first place, right? So I'm going to move my stop to break even. I'm going to click break even plus a tick, and we'll see if we get any more. And let's just move this down a little bit. See if we can get a fill on the upside. Okay, stopped out, and those 2 actually got filled. Now let's do it the other way. I'm going to go ahead and get short. Come on. There you go. It's testing the limit order out. It's trying to deplete the book in front of me. It's not doing it, so I'm going to chase it just because I want to do the demonstration, not because chasing is a good idea. It's a bad idea. So come on, let's go, computer. All right, same thing, right? So I'm going to move this really tight, though. Let's move this first profit target really tight and just see what happens here. So again, the idea is, we get this 1 unit, and this stop turns to 1. Let's see if we can get it to happen. Come on, market. Start selling off. You're way too high. There we go. A little bit more. Hopefully this is all making sense. Now, I know what your next question is, which would be my next question, is could we do this with 3 targets for a 3-lot trade? And the answer is absolutely you could do this with 3-lot. Okay. All right, so we got our first target filled. Look what happened to the stop. The stop didn't change. It's still at 2650, but we only have 1 contract left. We only have 1 contract left because we only have 1 target left. We got one. We liquidated one of them. And that's exactly what we wanted to happen, right? And now the idea is we could let this runner kind of run a little bit. If we want to move our stop to break even, we could do that. There's all sorts of stuff we could do at this point in the trade. So hopefully that helps. So we're going to go ahead and just move this down here. And I want to kind of show you, now this is how you do it on a trading ladder, right? This is how you do it on a trading ladder. You could also do it from the chart trader, right? You could also do it from the chart trader. Let's go ahead and get stopped out here or something. I'm going to chase a little bit. All right, we're flat. Now I'm going to go back to custom. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to save this as a template too. We'll just save this as, and this is where it's kind of important. I would say the ES for E-mini, and then I would say 2 targets, and then something of the like this, and then I would say 8, 10, and 8, something like that. And so then I'd hit save. And it's all in the template. You go to the drop-down menu, and it's there. So now let's say I wanted to do the same thing with the chart trader turned on. Okay, let's go over to the egg beater here where it says chart trader. You see on the chart, the top of the chart, this is my chart. Remember, I got the control panel above it. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to open that up and then I'm going to show it, right? Chart trader, I'm going to show it, right? And what looks kind of familiar, right? This little bottom part of the trading ladder looks just like this part on the chart trader, right? And again, I could hit the drop down menu. I could see the two that I've already saved, right? I could see the two. I could select those or I could create a new one. It's up to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the old one, right? Boom. And now I have it. Now I could just go by market. I could buy on the ask. I could right click and place an order on, really easily like that. On the actual chart itself, I could move that order around if I want. So there's a lot of functionality there, which we covered in another NinjaTrader Platforms Unleashed. So I'm going to buy in the bid right here. See if we can get filled. You can see it. It's mirrored here too on the actual trading dome. You can see it in the trading dome, right? You can see it's mirrored there in the trading dome. And again, these two things are in sync, which is even cooler. So if you wanted to kind of chase a little bit, just click and click and see if we can get filled on the upside. Come on, this is going up. All right. Now, on the chart, you can see there's my target. There's my stop. You can move them on the chart. You can move them on the trading ladder. It doesn't matter. As long as you see ATM strategy here with the lightning bolt, you know that it's in play, right? This is a simple bracket, and this is a 10 and 8 strategy with 10 ticks, profit target, 8 ticks, stop loss. That easy. It really is that easy. One last tip here. One last tip. I'm going to go ahead and just try to get out of this real quickly. Again, I really want to reiterate this one point. See if we can get out. Come on, there we go. Now, again, I walk away from my computer. I come back later. I want to place a trade on the chart. Remember, I have that ATM activated, right? If you want to do regular trades, just manual trades, you got to hit that drop-down menu and hit none. And then you're good to go, right? Now, notice on the SuperDOM, it hasn't changed. Wait a second. I just changed it over here on my chart trader. Why didn't it change? Because it's independent, right? So the strategy is independent now. So you would have to also, if you're going to place a trade from the chart, you're good. But if you just don't assume that there's no ATM strategy on the dome, always look at the bottom and you can just drop it down, hit the none button, and you're good to go. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. It's really that simple. Next week, we're going to talk about this plus adding movement, adding trailing stops, jumping stops. There's a lot of there's a lot of rich features here in the ATM strategy. I know it doesn't look like a lot. It doesn't look like a lot. When you first launch it at the bottom and you get that little window, it's like, all right, what is this? But don't forget, we could have multi-targets. You have more features down here, reverse a stop, reverse a target, all of these features down here that we'll talk about. You could set up a strategy, custom strategy for a stop, which includes a break even, which maybe a one step and a trail, a lot of stuff we're going to cover. In the meantime, if you're practicing, I just thought of another thing. If you're practicing this for the first time, do it in simulated live mode just to get a feel for it. And then also recognize the difference in marketplaces, right? So as an example, I'm just going to sync my ladder here. If I were to move to a micro NASDAQ market, the 10 and 8 numbers might not work because look at how volatile it is. Look how bouncy, I'm going to use the word bouncy or volatile this price action is. So you might want to consider different parameters. The same is true for if you're, trading 10-year notes where it doesn't move hard, it moves very slowly. Maybe it's a 6 and 8 strategy, right? Or a 5 and 8 strategy. So keep that in mind. Usually one set of simple bracket instructions, profit target, and stop loss you might not apply to all the different markets because they move a little differently. So that's it. That's all I really wanted to say. Thanks for that, Mission Control. I appreciate that extra couple of minutes you let me squeeze in there. But thank you for coming, everybody. We're going to do this again next Monday. We'll get a little bit more sophisticated next Monday. And again, remember, most important message of the day, folks, please. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. See you soon.